Hey everybody, welcome back, or welcome for the first time. Lovely to be streaming again after a couple of busy months, and giving a deadline that comes up very soon, which is in 2 days. It's time to continue with the association manager, which we've built or started building a couple months ago. So let me quickly set things up here and show you what we did last time, then what happened in the meantime, because I did a teeny tiny thing, mainly visuals. So let's get started into that to see where we are right now. And of course, hey everybody, welcome to the stream. And of course, we go for a lovely intro just one more time. And here we are now. So this is where we basically stopped last time. We had a very simple index page. Can click on view members. We could create a new member here to create all that, fill out this super long form. And we were also able to edit that and change things. So like, let's change this from Alex to Alexander, for example. We submit that and then things will work. So this was more or less where we stopped last time. And well, as I said, it was a few months ago, more or less. And as I had a little demo call already with the person I built the application for, I had to like touch up a few things here and there. So what we'll do now is we'll check out a branch called demo. So there's also on GitHub already. So it's all open source. I'll put the link in a second in the chat. So we can go here to, I think, chore demo. That's what I called it. We install dependencies. There were a few things here for later to add, like, in our idea sheet. For example, that there should be like a way to like give, let's say, a little break for a member to say like, okay, the person joined, I don't know, joins tomorrow, leaves in a year, and then comes back to just have a little break in between and not have like losing history about join and leave dates. So that's one thing. Then about like manual status changing for payments, that's for later because we didn't dive into all that yet. So, okay. We checked out everything, things are installed, so we start the demo and we will see that a few things changed already. So let's quickly check that out in the browser. In the meantime, I will happily just send this URL here in the chat. And that's also, if somebody will watch the VOD of this, that's all in the description. So now things already look a bit different here, right? So if we let's click on home, it already looks a little bit nicer, let's say. It looks more application-like. Of course, this is all from the Nuxt UI Pro, also opening that here real quick. The dashboard template, which is, well, it's pretty obvious, right? We took a few things out of that last time too, and it's quite recognizable. It won't be fully like that, of course, and there will lots of things we'll do ourselves, but as we don't focus much on the visuals here, that's a good start. And also on that note, I hope that command will still work. I'll check that in a second. There is also still a discount for Nuxt UI Pro. So just to say that here, if people were considering, for example, buying the whole like Pro kits, the components, the templates, which are pretty lovely, there is a discount right now with the discount code giving 10% off. So that's valid until actually next week. So we still have a bit of time. And we got our first ban here. There we go. Goodbye. Okay. Also quickly checking if the UI command, if that was a thing. Yeah, exactly. 20% even. Not only 10, it was 20% off, so even better. With the code, coupon code Lichter, that's my last name, and here we go. Are you actually building it for some org? Yes, this is built for actually an association. That's why it's called Association Manager. Hopefully we'll use it. I had a version 1 of the tool. I think I showed it last time. Maybe I didn't. It was like, it's very rudimentary and simple. I built it in 2015, so almost 10 years ago in Laravel and Bootstrap back then. And yeah, it's not really maintainable anymore. So I was like, okay, hey, they wanted like a new system anyway, and then I was like, let's build that. Hey, Emmanuel, welcome to the stream. Lovely to see you around here on that Sunday afternoon. And of course, also, hey, to everyone else joining. If there are any questions, as usual, please feel free to drop them in. And I will show so what happens in the meantime here, that demo branch, and then we'll merge it over. We'll go through the code and so on. What? Or Augustine, literally the same situation, except people still trying to maintain a Laravel project. Yeah. Yeah, I gave up in that a long time. It's also like it. I mean, 10 years ago or like 9 years ago, my programming skills were pretty okay to get this thing going, but there are a few things in there that I really don't want to touch anymore. So I'm happy to get started with that. Yeah. Upgrading the DB from MySQL 5 to 8. Oh yeah, that's also horrible. I remember that's tough. I also had it for one other project, and it was a bit of a pain, but I got it working eventually. Okay, so we have this wonderful start screen compared to the other ones. We will have a few more cards here. If we can click view members, this is basically the same here. This is also more or less the same. It's just like in that nice view. And we have that new member button over here now. Same idea, that works. We have the search here that basically gives the same thing to the left. It's just in here to, let's see, maybe like searching for a member at some point or for something. And then we got two new things in here. We got the finances part because that's what I want to showcase, and it's also still with your plan. So we have payments and payment roles. So payments is basically, okay, there's, let's say, latest payment to like the payment that was issued the last time to get all the money through various cash or like SEPA or whatever that will be supported. In here, we could take a look at older payments as well that are listed here too in tabs. And we always have like, okay, which people are here, how much they had to pay, because maybe they pay quarterly or half yearly or yearly. Monthly might be the shortest amount. So they have to pay based on their role. These are in German right now. It's basically like a full amount and reduced amount. And of course they pay a different amount, but this is all hard coded at the moment. So this is, well, I can show you the code in a second. This is just fake at the moment. Okay, and the roles are very important because the roles here will basically make sure that, okay, we have like honorable member that are like free. We have the full payment, 10 euros and reduced 9.50, for example. But we should also be able to create a new one. So we also have that form to say like, okay, we can create a new role. Let's say, I don't know, student, and the amount to pay would be 3.50. And the fun part is here, this was, I think, the most interesting part. So this field, I can type in like 333.34 and I can type in more. You might hear that, and nothing happens. So I used a library called Masca. Masca, let's try view behind that. Exactly. To make that happen. There are also good examples around that. So it's basically a field mask to make sure, okay, you have some input. They have like phones and whatever. It's really, really cool what they make happen. So like also here, if you just type it in, I don't type the dots, it will just fill it automatically. And that's pretty sweet. So I used Masca to make sure, okay, we always either have like just, I don't know, 10 euros. We can leave it like that. We don't have to do 10.00. But as soon as we set a point, then we can only write the last two things. And other than that, it's whatever we want. Yeah, so that's for the amount to pay. That's necessary. Also very important, this is the amount to pay per month because that's the smallest unit. And it's pretty straightforward. So if somebody says like, okay, you have a good overview how much there's difference per month for the roles. So that's the thing. Of course, also notes if someone says like, okay, this role should only be given for this and that, then we have that as well. I was looking for something like that. Nice. Yeah, same. I'm very happy that's there. I think there should also be an example on here on Nuxt UI with that, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, it's not. But maybe I saw some issue around it where somebody's suggesting that. I was trying it out and it works pretty well. So also in this case, that's nice. I thought about using a prime view component. Yeah, that's also an option, but I really didn't want to mix multiple UI libraries because this will always bloat the app, and then oh yeah, you pull in this and that. So it's like I rather use a few smaller things to cater my needs. Same for the date picker that we had, right? Like in a couple months ago. Also, yeah, this is a new button in the meantime where I can just add a new payment role, new member. So here we come to what we had before. This doesn't work yet, but it will at some point. This is just, this is not implemented yet. So like, okay, that's also correct. And the date picker that we had here of like, okay, date of birth, like this part. Still needs dark mode at some point, but yeah. It's also not my most favorite one, but it will work. And people are more or less forced to put it in, so yeah. Okay, so this is where we are. We have a few to do. So I think the most important part, let's check out the commit and then maybe merge the demo branch in here so we can finally do that. And you know what, let's just create a pull request straight away. I'm not logged in here. Maybe let's do this real quick. I also don't have LastPass for real. I don't have LastPass here. I do have, no, 1Password I have installed, never mind. Let me quickly, yeah. But it doesn't fill it in. That's interesting. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Okay. Then we do it manually. That's fine. Authenticator. Okay. That worked then. Funny. All right. So let's create a pull request. The basis, let's compare that. And here we are. These are like a few commits from April and May. So actually like 2-3 months ago. And we add features from the demo call, let's say. And then we go through that and see what's actually happening here. So the 26 files changed is not too much because most is like for example here, the app.view, okay, sure. We have like a color mode. We have these links that we have here in the sidebar. Also for the search, the shortcuts, and so on. So there are a few things added, but it's more like convenience and playing around, nothing too crazy. ITN is also planned, of course. Let's see when. But as people from Germany should use that application, I will probably implement it rather sooner than later. So that will be interesting. Also because we can just use the user agent for that. We don't need like a different URL. So that's that shouldn't be too tricky. But all translations. Yeah. Then of course, like as we have here, this association manager part, the sidebar and all that. This is just very nice, like UI stuff. So this is okay. We view that. That's fine. Header is gone because we replaced it. Here, okay, we have a new function called format date to make sure the date is nicely formatted. That's also okay. Fine. Oh wait, there was more. Okay, stylistic changes. No change event anymore. The date picker. No, wait, this is just formatting. This is just formatting as well. And oh yeah, here, right. We didn't implement the date picker last time. Okay, never mind. Then we can go over that just one more time again. Because yeah, I didn't want to just like let people pick that. So I have a date picker implemented here. And it's basically, okay, we have the input, but in the panel, we use that app date picker that we have a look in a second. I thought it was there last time, but it wasn't. Okay, so also that, check. Payment form, we will go over that in a bit. Let's collapse it for now. Payment form 2. Ideas, as we said, okay, some maybe conditionals to update member roles, like, oh yeah, after 1 year, you are not a trial member anymore, whatever. That's also like for the future, nothing for now. That's mandatory. Yeah, mascot that we added here. This is just the finances tab to add. It's nothing, we never get there because it's just a drop down, but technically we could click here, go to finances, and then they see this, which is still pretty ugly, but it should do the trick for now. So yeah, no, it looks a bit strange, but hey. The finance payment is basically what I said, that we faked a little bit. This is also interesting. We can have one more check about that here. So if you click here, you see that the link changes, right, from payments 1 to like just the payments page, and it's pretty fun because technically what I did here, I have this finances payments page, right? That's just the index page, and it uses basically it's a nested page. We have the Nuxt page in here, so it's a nested page in there. So we always have that navbar. And with navbar, I mean like the tabs here, the new payment here. No matter where you go, you have that, which is fun. Okay, we can close Masca here. And then we have the Nuxt page. And then it's interesting because over here we have payments ID, which is the next file. And we have this double square brackets around it, which more or less just means, okay, it doesn't matter if you have that parameter or not. You should always show that view, right? So the idea behind that is that I don't care if it's like the latest payment, so just this one, or like maybe even the next that's shown like, okay, hey, this is the next payment. Would you want to execute that? Or is it a payment that actually has an ID and then we'll get it from the database? So the idea is at some point we have like a preview of like, hey, this is the next payment, just set a date for it. Something like that. So that was the idea behind it. And then it's just a bit of hard-coded things, the columns and so on. And here we have these things hard-coded, which we have to change at some point for sure. Also some to-dos, and then we're fine. So we have this viewed. We viewed this one as well. Just click on these as viewed, the ideas. The forms we'll check in a bit, but we've also seen them already. And we just check this. Then create. Yeah, as we've seen, not implemented yet, but we will implement this sooner or later. This is, I think, the most tricky part to like get the payments right, because we have to store so much information. We have to store basically everything with the payment, because the tricky part is, let's just imagine we have like a person here and there, right? You have tester V here and here. What happens if, for example, if the role changes in between? So let's say here the person is paying quarterly, right? So okay, all right, and he's like a full payer, and for some reason here his role changes and he gets a reduced amount. So this is something you have to take into account. We probably won't do this straight away, but this is definitely something we should consider. So there are lots of edge cases, and of course creating that big SEPA file, making it possible to switch the state of single people to say like, okay, I have to manually validate that they did some payments or not. That will be all not that easy. Like it should be possible to revert, like, I don't know, people paying cash. Like, okay, we can't just like check them automatically. They should be unchecked for now. And then maybe in that preview here, maybe they should have a little badge with a little, I don't know, three people still didn't pay. And then you can just like check them off. So there should be also an action here to make sure they paid or didn't pay. For SEPA, because it's basically just like automated, we can tick it straight away. So yeah, that would be fun. And yeah, then we have that payments create. So like this is nothing special, also just a date picker here. It's fine. There, the payment form is being used. So we have a look at that, which is one that we collapsed here. And it's basically just saying, okay, you have that initial state, we get a date, people can change the date, and that's fine. Okay, sweet. Then, yeah, roles create. So this also already works, I hope. Maybe it doesn't. It's also been a while for me. No, it doesn't. I think that's where I stopped in the end. To have like a API roles call, because there's no API for that here. But it will be. That's probably where we start continuing. So like, okay, we can create a role. That's all right. So like if we go here, payment roles, and say this would be, as I said, student for 555 or something, blah. And if you create that, it wouldn't work because obviously there is none yet. So that's where we continue. But that's the whole thing here in that form. And then we have the roles overview, which we also, of course, need here. Also very similar to what we had before. That's also all hard-coded right now because we don't have anything on that. And check. And the index, we adapted a little bit. We improved a few things. We basically have these items for that button, right? For if we go to home here for that button, these, and we still fetch data. And then we're kind of good. The rest is just a few changes here to improve things. A few tiny changes on types, and that's more or less it. So yeah, and of course, I did a few things to like improve the backend a little bit with like, okay, the map backwards part was a bit interesting of like how to map the gender the right way. But I just decided to roll for it like this to say like, okay, it shouldn't be not null. We always have to set it, and then we don't have to have default, but it's actually saved. And I started with the payment role schema in here too. So yeah, that's where we continue. All right. I can't approve my own PRs. Still. Understandable. Let's put it in here. Squash the whole thing. And then we will simply go all the way back to the code. And we say, we check out main. We pull, install some maskas already there. And then we get started. I was also thinking of like, okay, let's migrate to the Nuxt 4 structure and so on. But I will probably do this as soon as I have more time and the features are like not fully complete. But as soon as the deadline pressure is not that hard anymore. I think that's one of the key parts. Focus on the most important part, because it's not that much to migrate. It's not that much tech debt. So yeah, that should be fine. Okay. So what we do next? Next thing we do is, as we said before, first maybe let's create a branch feed stream 77, something like that. And go. We have that schema for here, I hope. Yeah, for the payment roles and also for payment form for now, but we might improve that a bit in the future. So from here, I think the best way would be implementing the payment roles themselves to add them. So it's actually valid. And then we also have to pull these information here. Because if we go and let's say have a member here, this payment role is not connected. It's not hooked up, right? It doesn't work. I can't just say like payment role and then select one here. So we need to pull that out and make sure that actually works. So I think that's a good start for now to get into the application again, because I really haven't touched the code for 2 months. So what I want to do is we want to save the payment roles in database. We want to pre-fill this. We want to make sure the schema and ZOD is also only accepting the roles from here. And when we change something here, it should be set nicely. Okay. Also, payment schedule, I think, yeah, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Probably still have to add half yearly to that. Maybe that's a good start. We have yearly somewhere here. Yeah, because half yearly is somewhere in there. So maybe let's do half semi, whatever, half yearly. I don't know. That should be fine. Not sure if you say it like that, but how is it? Biannual. That makes more sense. Half yearly also works, but maybe we do it like this. But yeah, these are, yeah. Let's do annually here and biannually. We also have to item and these names. I just keep it with half year here because it fits the ID, but this would also be nice to actually item at some point. And we should put the months to 6, not to 12. Okay. Sweet. Okay, how do we continue from here? We wanted to improve, maybe let's commit this. Chore at biannual payment schedule option. We can also improve these because like we can change the names at some point. But that's like cleanup is for later. So also let's do like a to-do list here. We say payment role. So we have the form works already. That's fine. So we don't need to do this. Check. What we need to do is API for payment roles. Then fetch payment roles from API on /finance finances roles. I'm looking for a role in finance. Here we go, exactly. And then hook up payment roles with member form plus schema. So that's the second part. Okay, or like this is the last part of it. And then the payment roles work. So that's pretty nice. And then after we do the payment roles, we probably should tackle we could tackle pagination of the members and all that. So like member pagination, or what we also could do, of course, the whole like payment flow So like, yeah, basically it's correct. Create payment. Edit payment will be tricky because I don't think we don't want to actually edit the payments. It's more like edit status of payee. So let's think of SEPA, revert, single SEPA file, and cache, and so on, so on. So yep, create payment means DB, and it creates a SEPA file. This will be, I think this will be one of the trickiest parts. There's a library for that, but it's still annoying. And if we have the payment flow working, let's quickly double check if we miss anything. But if we have the payment flow working, then we are in a pretty nice, oh yeah, they're in a pretty nice state. But what we need to do is we need to do a migration from CSV to feed to DBs, because I got a sheet of data basically from all the existing members that have to be fed into the new system. And of course, nobody wants to do that manually. And actually also the customer or the client or the person was like saying, it could be cool if we could just get a list. So at some point also like an export, then just change a few things and import it again. So like a sync. But I don't think that's in scope necessary now, because like you could just go through the application and do that. So, but these are more or less all to-dos. If we would get until, if we would get until here today, would be pretty cool. Probably not. I think like we might get this here done. That would be great. And then maybe tomorrow, ? This year. And then maybe, I don't know, Tuesday or so this year. Let's see. Something like that. Migration, worst case, you could do it manually, but yeah. Yeah, mass overriding existing data, that's indeed scary. It's tricky. You can match with like first name, last name and stuff, but I would probably suggest nobody to go for it. So yeah. What do we have here? What is in the list was missing? Yeah, the CRUD stuff, exactly. Oh yeah, the groups, that's more or less not necessarily needed because you have the roles, the member roles. You could just set it up to be a group, but have the same payment. This is a thing. Yeah, we need this. Exactly. Payment roles. That's what we talked about. Payment schedules are just are fixed anyway. So that's fine. We have these already. So we can remove these. ITN. The import as we had. Auth, yeah. Auth might be interesting because I think basic auth is the easiest start to just make sure, okay, there's like one person using it anywhere, maybe two, but they have a shared password. Don't want to start with like permissions and all that straight away. Maybe we can have a look into that later on. And yeah. IBAN validation stuff, it's also desired. Makes sense. Yes, this for later. Okay. I think we're pretty good in what we want to do. So let's do this. Hey Bish Talks, thanks a lot. All right. Okay, so what we will start with, we have API members, and I remember we had that member count here, and that was a little bit annoying because of how Nitro works right now. Maybe we can change the API at some point a little bit. Just wondering if it makes sense. Info count, something like that. What we can do is, so before we tackle that, we have the count thingy. Here. We have this, right? Use fetch API members count. And it's pretty straightforward because that data works. That's fine. A problem right now, though, is, and we see this in the member ID part here, as soon as we added count, members ID would now technically match two different values. Because it could say, you know what? Okay, sure. We go into count here. If, oops, now it's closed, sorry. If that ID here, if that is count, because it can be any string, right? So if this would be count, we go into the data of count. So that part. If that's not count, we just get the user info. So this part. Not so nice. And I did some type narrowing here. It's not cool. So what we could do is, because it's correct, it's correctly inferring you could go either way. If there's a member ID, count would be a problem. What you could now, you could say, okay, you know what? You set a type member response. And you could say we take the internal API, I think like this, but let's check, from Nitro. So you can import a type here. Maybe you did it before already, but internal API, I think like this we see from Nitro pack. And I think it's API like this. Yes, so what we could do here is, in here, yeah, all lowercase, internal API, yes, okay. And in here we could say, you know what, let's take API, if it would also autocomplete, but typos. Here, /API/members ID, right? So we could say, okay, this is definitely only this, and then we say it's only get. In this case, it actually also is. And then we say this is the member response, and we could assign it manually here. So like, okay, this would work. And then we don't have to do any checks anymore, because we know that it is that. We don't need, oh yeah, we can't even do it here because it's transform. Sorry, we have to do it for data, but still, same idea. It's the member response, we know it's that. That would work. That is fine. It is a little bit hacky, as in we have to use the internal API and internal, well, it always has a weird feeling, but otherwise it's correct to assume it could hit any of these. So we could do this, or we could just say like, you know what, the count thingy, we move this into info, and then we just, can we actually just do this? Nice, yeah, we just put it into info, and then we go, remove all of that here. We go where we used count, which is just on that page anyway. We use info here, and things should be better here. And we don't have to do all these weird workarounds, let's say, because then we just know, okay, whatever will be, it's definitely the member data, because now you can never reach that point. I had a question though. Tell me a good place to put my set interval code which fetches a token from the backend and stores it in the cookies. So you mean right for like authentication, I guess. Actually, I think I would probably put it in the plugin. And so I shown, oh, there we go, thanks. Yeah, we'll reject these. I think I've shown Nuxt custom $fetch or something, a video. Yeah, this one. About repository pattern, where you put it also in your plugin. And I think that might be a good way of doing things. So let me pull up the code. Yes. Sebastian's blog post, which is now in the docs as well, also worth reading. So if we have a plugin here, you have that API. I would probably put it here somewhere. So like, okay, you can execute it. It's executed. Ideally also set interval, be careful. Only do it on a client, of course. But will the plugin code run after the interval expires? So the idea is that, like, not necessarily, but, oh, I did it in middleware. That's also a way. If you do an interval, not a timeout, it will recurrently happen. If you then use a ref, for example, that stores that, let me think a little bit more about it. But generally, I think it should work if you use. I thought of doing it in app.view. Feels like app.view also works fine, but yeah, then you have like it's basically also like more as in a plugin, but you don't have access to it in plugins, middleware, and so on before, because you only have access in your components. But it's also okay. I mean, I know people, yeah, like if you initialize your auth code, to run in the middleware, to run in the plugin, like to have some await init auth here, and you have your, I know, your API things in a storage or in a composable, that should all work. Yeah, so like a plugin, a middleware, even app.view would work, I would say. It depends a bit on the implementation. I would probably put a close somewhere here, but yeah. Also still on my list to do like a bit more full-fledged off video, but yeah, setting it up is always a bit tough, but it will happen. I'm having it on there. Right, that's merged what we did, and let's get back here. So yeah, right, we resolved lots of issues around that, and then we can just say like, okay, this should be fine. Data value should be always there then, so we can just do this, I assume. Oh no, it's not still possible, you know. Okay, if there's an error, okay, makes sense. And here, same idea. And we can even keep it like that. And then we know it's there. Okay. When does a plugin run? A plugin always runs before the app.view, basically. So the plugin can run on the server side and the client side, like your app.view as well, when you server side render server render your application. And it runs before your components are initialized. So really, really early in the life cycle. You have, I think, plugins, then middleware, then your app.view, then everything below that, like all the other components. Yeah. Okay. Drawer update idea list. And here we say, oh yeah, we have to take them all. Feed or refactor move count to info to make sure it doesn't clash. Cool. Let's push this straight away. Also on that note, let me quickly check something because this is still working. Yay. Lovely. That is also something we built. Oh, you don't see it here. There. That's also something we built quite a while ago on stream. That's fun. And it works totally free with GitHub Actions. This is the best part. This is more or less just the GitHub action for the notification here. That's triggering this. So maybe you have it still here. Twitch. Yeah, this one. We're going back to the app in a second. It's just a fun thing. Sure, new Twitch status. It's basically just running an action again and again every, I think like between, like 10, 5-ish minutes, which basically just refreshing things, checking things, and then committing, basically saying, hey, okay, the current Twitch status is title, tags, when started, viewer count, and thumbnail and so on, or this will always be updated. Okay. And how do you clear the interval? Because I couldn't find an app destroyed hook inside a plugin. Well, you don't need to. On the server side, you shouldn't execute the interval at all, or like you just execute it once. On the client side, well, if the user just leaves the app, it's gone. If the user just it's basically, if the user closes the tab, then it's fine. So everything that runs on plugin either has just like a one-off effect, or if you run like a global thing, then you just wouldn't do it. What you always could do though is of course save that interval and let's say a composable, just call a composable in there, and keep a reference on that, and then decide to like, okay, I want to close it down. So you don't need a app destroy token that way. All right, payment roles. I remember we did a lot of things with Nuxt here. We did a lot of the schema part, which was a bit of a pain, but as we can't sadly, or we could also hook up FormKit, but decided not to, which could have been easier, but still. Let's go on with this. We're in SQLite table members too at some point. We should probably set up a new table. Oh, we have a payment roles table already. we should not set up a new table because we have it already. It would be nice to refer to the payment role at some point. Yeah, we have this here already. Exactly. So do we use that somewhere? I don't think so. No, we don't. Okay. And in here we have that. We have the schema here. We have this. Yes, read from database. That's correct. Okay. What's what's the best idea here? I think so. We have to just set up API. Let's mimic the structure from over there. Finances, roles, id.get.ts is basically what we need first. Can basically just take that code for now, copy it over. It will be simplified a lot. Let's close the console. We don't need that. Put the bar a bit on the side. So we get the idea, of course. We want to throw a 404, obviously, not for the member in this case. So we have drizzle. We want tables.paymentRoles. Tables.paymentRoles.id. We want that. If there's no possible role, then we say payment role not found. And we don't need a transform. Maybe for later, we'll see. Okay. So we could just return that possible role here, if it's the case. We don't need any of that for now. So let's see if we just do API payment, API finances roles 1. It should give me a 404. Finances roles 1 not found. That should not be the case. Oh, I put it under members. That's of course not nice. Let's put it extra. Now it gives me no such table payment roles. Okay. That's interesting, and probably because I didn't run the migration on that local DB. Migrate, DB migrate, something like that. Okay, I think DB generate should be right, but let's just double check. Yes, okay. And probably restart the server and see. Also, there are a few things. Yes, that's all fine for now. $500, still no such table. Okay, that's strange. Because, SQL code did not contain a statement and still no such table. But yeah, it is basically this here. That should work. Should. Is there anything else that we should consider doing which we didn't do? Also, why didn't we have that migration earlier? That's a bit weird. Anyway. If we run again, nothing will happen. That should be fine. No config path provided. We have a drizzle config.ts, which is here. That's correct. We have the migrations. We have the schema.ts, which is also here. That's all fine. I think what's also happening is that is here. Yeah, nothing to migrate. It's correct. Weird. And also, as we are using the whole thing locally, it shouldn't give us that error. But anyway, do the members still work? That's more interesting. Still, the members still work. Fun. Okay, we have the metas here. That's fine. We have drizzle here. We use the hub database. We can also export the type payment role in here. That's the member form schema for the server utils. Plugins do not run in idle state. My concern is when a page is stale without interaction and a token has expired, I don't want to check the cookie before API calls because I want auto refresh mechanism implemented by global ticking clock. Yeah, but then once again, if you have like a composable that says like, okay, you call it there, you basically say, I don't know, start off, or you call a Pina store function or wherever you have it. Like you can hold that wherever you want, right? And you start it basically there. The whole logic shouldn't be there. It should just be a start. And then your interval can be there. You can save the reference to the interval, like the handler number that you can then cancel it with somewhere else. That can have a cancel function. So that still seems fine. With the stay with interaction or idle state, I'm not entirely sure if set interval would not be executed in idle state at all, but what you can do is you can always choose to have a detection. For example, if we take, not vuejs, also vuejs, no? Okay, yeah, there we go. There should be like use idle is not what I wanted to look for, but like a focus, I think. Use window focus or something to, thanks. To I don't think it's this one. Or you use inactive. There's definitely a way to detect. I mean, either idle or inactive, whatever. So like, okay, what's going on? What the user is doing? I think even another tab. I'm more than sure it's possible, and vuejs has an option there. So I think if you look into vuejs here and have like, okay, if the window is active or something like that, and then when it changes, just re-execute that. That should also be fine. Also, of course, on that note, a shameless plug for the lovely Deja Vu episode that we did with me. I mean, Michael and I. Oh yeah, perfect. that's a great chance to promote it, and I'm glad that you saw and listened to it and that you liked it. Hopefully, perfect. So for everyone else not seen yet, great one, and really looking forward to next week's release, which will be the second part of our conversation with Evan Yu about the future of Vue and so on and so on. So will be once again lots of fun. I still wonder why this is not the case here, but it's okay. We will just carry on because we need to. We could probably even remove. That config is set up correctly. The rest is set up as it was before. Let's do one more thing. RM left the Nuxt. And let's do that again. I mean, worst case, I will check the docs for a sec. Next episode on form handling ZOD would be amazing. Yeah, I'm also probably hitting up Justin Schrader from FormKit because he has some really good takes on that, and I really like his talks, ideas behind it. So that will be also a thing. ZOD is also a good one, of course. Okay, no such table. That's not good. Let me see if there's something we can do here, because we have that migration and it's there. We did not deploy anywhere, but it's fine. We have the journal of SQLite. We have the snapshot number 2. That's what we had before, and it was probably just reinstantiated. And then we have payment roles. There's also payment underscore roles. And we have exactly that. And the schema, I hope the whole thing is also named SQLite table, payment roles. Yeah. Same here, members 2 in this case. It's also exported. And we use it in here. Use the result, select from where. I mean, the thing is we don't have an entry yet. Maybe that's a fair point, because if the entry doesn't exist, it might not work, but we can check that in a second. We just create the nice endpoint that we want to create, the put one, and then see how things go. So also here we copy the one over that we had before. We or not, no, let's just create the, let's do put one later. Let's do the actual create one first. So what we want is we want to parse it from the schema, which is the payment role schema. So this one, name, amount, notes. So let's fix that, put it up there. Re-export this, bring it in here. And we need member and we need payment roles. So let's pass the whole thing through payment roles, form schema, .parse. And then we get basically the rest. We don't need to manipulate anything because we, oh, we do. We have to, we have to calculate. So we have amount here and the rest. So what we want to do is, yeah, thanks. Const amount in cents is amount times 100, of course. So now we insert into payment roles the value amounts. I'm really curious if the TS will work better here this time. It will complain about there's something missing. Yeah, name and notes. Okay. What if we just say the rest of it? And now we'll complain saying there is no created at, there's no updated. Okay, good. There's nice. Also, we want to have amount as amount in cents to really make sure to not use that. If we not to the schema, if we go to payment roles here, maybe we want to add the created at and update it as well. That's never hurts to have that around too. Meta. I have a comma here. Restart. And let's see what will happen. Okay. Probably have to migrate again just because of the interesting. Mainly because this is ID name of nodes, but we also need to create it and update that. It's altered and added. Okay, perfect. We have everything up and running. Let's see. I mean, technically, we should now be able, if you go here, say payment roles, and say test role. We do 555 nodes. These are my nodes. Almost. And submit it. It should give me, oh, a validation error. Nice. Okay, so why do we get a validation error here? Let's try it again, because if it's a validation error, we can just redo it. Okay, response. Validation error because expected string received number. Fair. Probably because of the amount, I would guess. We can check this by logging. Well, we can just check it by checking the request here. Oh, but the amount is already set in, okay, nice. The amount is already set in cents. That's correct then. So I think we were clever enough to do that already early on. Then we can just log the whole thing. Then we can just say the body. I still wonder why it gives me an error because, oh yeah, true. Because the ZOD form is already doing that for us. It's correct. Like basically the payment role form is, yeah, for the form. Same with the member. But what we actually want to check here is, and we want to have a server schema, which you might put in the server utils separately anyway, because that's what we basically get. That's what there's a difference between what the form accepts and what we get back. What we're looking at here, first, welcome to the stream. we are looking at an association manager. So let's show that on GitHub. Association manager here. We built that. We started building it 3 months ago. Have to finish it in a bit. And we are looking at this wonderful code. We are basically looking into this about creating members for an association, creating payments, roles. So having a tiny little application built with Nuxt. Nuxt UI Pro, which is also there, just to mention, on discount right now for 20% with this link and the coupon code. And we're trying to implement these payment roles here. So this is test role properly sent over. My notes ABC. And that doesn't work right now because we have to actually differentiate between what we have on what the server will get and what the form is accepting. So let's import Z from ZOT here. Again, we have the payment role server schema and the name is fine. This should be a number for sure because this is a full number in sense and that's okay and optional too. And yeah, now it complains that it can't import that, which is correct. Payment role server schema should be the trick here. And if you parse that, then we should be good. Role manager app using Nuxt.js. Yeah, more or less that. Correct. It's also using Nuxt.js, very important. And if we submit it now, I have a feeling 500 internal server. Okay, this brings us further to the goal. Still says no such table, which is unfortunate. So I have to double check why. Might have to fix something with the integration, or might have to redo my databases, but it's fine. Nevertheless, the validation turns out is interesting stuff. Strap public, yes, it is. I'll put it in the chat. Request is failing validation. No, it should not, because it gives us a 500, not a 400 anymore. It did before. It failed before. That's why we changed it. Now it's really just the whole no such table. So I think we just have to set up the connection to Cloudflare again. No such table. Okay, docs don't cover that, which I assumed already. We can, of course, start it on GitHub and also look at it. Already start and check. No such table. Database migrations. There are some questions opened. Okay, that's not there. Okay. Migrations. Interesting. But it should not necessarily solve the problems. Nevertheless, remote storage. We have, well, the database kind of not only the storage here. We also should not use that. So yeah, I think we can just yoink everything and bring it back. Let's try that. Let's say only we have .nuxt folder here, which we can yoink. That's the D1 Miniflare database connection we can also yoink. So now we can once again kick off generate. Nothing happens, which is correct. npm dev. And let's see. By the way, I've used Nuxt Hub now actually a couple of times to deploy some other project of mine. It's a lot of fun. So can also highly recommend to try it out. The best part on that is that it's actually free for sole devs up to 5 projects, which is really nice. So you can just give it a go. So yeah, and of course also free for open source. And it's really amazing with like Cloudflare plus this gives you so much capabilities. No such table. Okay. Still no. It's super interesting. Because I wonder why. I remember last time it worked fine, but this doesn't help us here. Maybe. Sorry for switching back and forth. I have an idea. Maybe let's try the following. Let's get rid of all the migrations, run the db migration script again. I remember last time, because this way I had members 2 as well, there were some problems around that. That it's I couldn't recreate the same DB, but this now works. Okay, now we shouldn't have any members. That's right. And if we now add a payment role, let's give it a try. Test role 5.55. It works. Sweet. The members are also done, but it's okay. They're also gone, but it should work. We can also check it. We can easily. Here we have it. Okay. Lovely. Let's see what this means for us. We can payment role form works already. Okay, we can remove this. API for payment roles almost done. Fetch payment roles from API here. We will do this now because this is pretty straightforward. We already did that a couple of times. So yeah, what we can do, we have ID get. We need, of course, an index.get as well. It's the usual as before. Probably we will write like an abstraction around it for the sort and order and stuff with the mapped columns, but not now. We also, I don't think for these we necessarily need sorting that much, but we can also keep it in. It doesn't matter much. We just shouldn't use the membership ID. It's probably just name. Members, we can always replace through payment roles. And if you have first name, we can replace first name by amount. Actually, we can just do this. Column to sort is either name or amount. There's nothing else to sort by. Okay. And now we hook the whole thing up to our form and to our table. So if you have roles here, we have index.view here. This all we want to get rid of. And we already have this in members, right? So in the member index here, we have the whole thing. We fetch, oh, that's the ID. Over here, we fetch all the way to the top, the default columns. Then we fetch here, further down. We will do the same. We'll just fetch these and use them. So let's close everything to the right and this too. Maybe open index and we open roles in index. Maybe let's open both of them. So we fetch, of course, payment roles here. And we say payment. No, luckily we have this auto completion. I'm curious, what does read validate body from Nitro do? This is really nice. The idea is it is basically allowing you, let me find an example here. So basically saying, give me, like, read the body, pass it through any kind of function that you want. It can be Zod Valibot, your own one, doesn't matter. And if that function like throws an error or returns a, I think a falsy or null, like we can look it up in a second result, it will just throw a 500. And otherwise it will just give you the body that's already typed. So let's just have a look. Yeah. The function is for body validation. If we call pass in the read request body, if the result is not false, it will be returned, and otherwise, it will, like false or throws, validation error will be thrown. So implementation should also be pretty straightforward. Read, validate body. Yeah. So we get the body from the event, and then we validate it through the function. So we call a function, we await it. If it's actually false, we have a validation error. If it's basically true, return the data, otherwise return the whole response, or if that's nullish for some reason, then the data, and yeah, otherwise we also just throw an error here. So it's a nice shortcut in Nitro for validating the body, as the name kind of says. Okay. We have the defaults here. We can add a query for that as well, like we did here. So we could say, okay, you know what? Let's skip that for now because we don't need it at the moment. That's okay. We also don't have like any use lazy fetch for now. This will come. We will bring nice loading states, but let's focus on the application and the features for now and then polish it. Yeah, right. It's really lovely. And here we are. It's already working. We can add another role. Let's add a full. Full is fine. Just for 10. Submit. It's there. Boom. Quick. Reduced. Let's do 5. Let's do 750. Boom. It's there. That's cake. That's super fast. That works. And we can deploy it straight away and it will also work. Whew. Amazing. Really, really fast. All right. So we hooked it up. Now we want to click on that. And exactly, this is throwing right now because we don't have an edit form. We want an edit form. So let's create one. Back in the code. Oh, we have payment role form already. This is already more or less giving us what we want. So let's go roles here, right? And if we have an ID, and then we have like an edited view, I guess, or we can just, how does member have index and edit? Yeah. The index is basically just a showcase right now. It's fine. So we can more or less do what we have here. We just have to transform things back. That's the important part as well. Let's just copy that and did what we have here. And make sure we don't fully copy paste. We need a schema. Do we need a schema from there? If we have the payment role form, it also has a schema and that doesn't hurt. So let's take that. We have the param, we fetch API, finances, roles, ID. We get some data. And now we want to transform the data back. Exactly. GitHub Copilot was clever here. We want to halve the amount by 100 to get the euros back. We don't need better type narrowing here. And we just do name, payment role. Actually, to do better type narrowing can go. I missed it last PR, it's fine. Oh yeah. Well. And to update things, then we do same idea. Let's say ID here, ID from the route params. That's validated. And then remember we go to finances, roles. And we're good. And of course, we don't want to use member form, we use the payment role form. Initial state. Colon. Okay, that will complain, we will see why, and submit is complaining because we can... Okay, we will see why. So we have the ID, we have the data. Because I've created it, updated it, okay. We could just do created it, updated it, and the rest. And just use rest here because we don't need the information about that. It also doesn't fit into schema. And now they're still complaining. Okay, why are they complaining? Because oh yeah, because of the another undefined thing. That's a bit of a pain. Yeah. I think we managed to do that in the API call members back then. Oh yeah. Now I remember. So if we get something here, we transform that. That's why we had a huge thingy. It's not that nice, but we can do something like that. Transform role, possible role. Let's create a function. Yeah, so that was okay. And now, yeah, let's import a ZOD here. And now we return more or less what we have here, but name, possible role, the name. amount possible role dot amount, and we don't even need to return create updated type here. We can just say in this case notes is possible role dot notes or undefined, and then actually it will work, and it's not fun. I don't think this was right though, because otherwise it wouldn't complain. So how did we get this here? It's drizzle member nodes correct, and then we've transformed member with ID. We have that output of selected member schema, and that's also this here. So we string or null, and the schema says string undefined. Yeah, that's true. But why does it work here, I wonder? Because this is a string or null, and did we update this to make it work? Oh, yeah, true. We created the schema. Yeah. We created the schemas here. Right. So this is what we did. That's good. So we have select payment role schema with this lovely integration. And that makes more sense. And this is what we have to import here. Bingo. It's painful when you have so many transformations that could alter the source schema and doesn't fit in. Yeah, that's true. And you all, like, in the end also, like, you need multiple schemas to handle all the cases, because you have one case where you say, okay, this is what my form allows, and then you have some output, of course, which you could use with like the input, the output. Question mark, undefined. What? Yeah, because the idea is, so what will happen is there is a case null or undefined, and that will give undefined back, which means it will nicely fit to what we need. Yeah, we could even think about should we divide here already? I don't think we should. I think that's the form can do that, but yeah, this is the idea behind it. It's a hack, yes, yeah. Because I also like it's really not cool that it goes string or null, and I would be just nice to have like, you know, an optional, which it isn't. So yeah. Nevertheless, why is complaining now? Because now number string undefined. Oh yeah, okay, that's true. We have to wrap it in a string. And then we do just data here, and we're good. Because the form can expect a string. Okay. Why is submit complaining? Because this is a schema we get. Okay, because of the number part. Interesting. Let's see if we can update that here. Because there should be output, I think, then. No, schema output then. We have already schema output. Why didn't we use it over there? Weird. Okay, fine. We live with that. Let's update a role, I guess. Or let's not update a role because it's not available. Roles ID edit. It should be there. But it's not. Ah, okay. So let's do 556 because we can, and submit it. We need some error messages for sure. API finds roles 1. Yeah, this is also the wrong call. It's true. I should have noticed that as soon as you put in here, like, oh wait, it doesn't work. Wait, this should work, no? Also, no, wait. What am I doing? Wrong. Here we go. This can stay as it is, but here, API finds roles IDs is already correct. That should already work. API finds these roles. That's a put. It should exist. because we added it here. Yeah, because we definitely added it here already. ID.put.cs. Come on. Okay. We can complain a lot while it's not there. Let's get the same thing from the members. Now we need the what's it, the payment role service schema. Probably we want to validate it the same idea as we did it before. We get the ID. We want not members. We want the payment roles. So, all right, we don't need all that because that's fine. But what we want is we say update payment roles, set, and then it's really like body everywhere where payment roles .id is number ID. We return that, and here we have no payment role found for that operation. Okay, saving everywhere. This still don't know why this was complaining. We should also check if we have all the other things updated nicely. Yes. Okay. Let's try it again, submit it, and it's done, and it works. And if you reload it, we also have the new data. Okay. Didn't take too long to get a fully working CRUD application. This is a new note. Also, notes are here not shown on purpose. Okay, nice. So let's check the list again. Here we go. API for payment roles, check. Fetch payment roles from API and finances roles, check. Eugene, thanks so much for the follow and welcome to the stream. And here we go, feed payment roles API. So we have that. Now the trickier part. That will not be that much fun. So now we have our payment roles, and of course now it's highly inaccurate what we do with this. We have that to do read from database. So we should definitely fix that and update that. Now, what we can do is, or we should do is, we should incorporate that. But it also means as soon as we load anything with the payment, like with the member form, we also have to load things. Thank you for videos. It's amazing. Glad that you like them. Perfect. Really, really happy to hear. And also there, of course, always happy to make some advertisement for the one and only Deja Vu podcast, just to make sure, because lots of people tell me like they are not aware of the podcast, and then they're always happy about it. Also, the podcast website, which maybe some of you probably know, let's just showcase there for a bit. It's nothing crazy. It's pretty simple. It didn't have JavaScript for a while, and maybe it does now. I'm not entirely sure. It does now. Okay. And the point is, this also will be definitely something that we want to improve and build in another stream, probably in a couple weeks, because this deserves some updates. We have like these share pages for like Transistor. So maybe I have it somewhere in my clipboard still where I shared it. Yeah, like we have these share pages that are pretty cool. They work well. But yeah, there are a few things like it could look nicer. It could like more view like, for example. And there also is no list of all the episodes, right? You have to check all the episodes step by step. You can't go to like, hey, okay, you have like the more info button to read through all that. Okay, sure. And there's a website, but you don't have the list of all the episodes. It would be just cool to have that, because of course you could say like, oh yeah, there's a YouTube video, or I just go to, I don't know, Spotify or Apple Podcast or whatever, and do that, or just use the RSS feed. But yeah, come on. So also there, really worth. Plus, as I said, the Avon one is really fun. Actually, most of them are pretty amazing. Really enjoy doing that. And yeah, we also on YouTube we get this cross the 1K sub, so really happy for that. And I think let's just double check. Yeah, 7.5K at the moment. It's also amazing. So thank you for everyone subbing in there. And if you have any suggestions for contents, please bring them on. I already noted down for the podcast, form handling and Zod. If you have any ideas for videos and so on, just drop them, let me know. Yeah, also this video, of course, for everybody watching right now on stream, this will be also VOD on YouTube in probably a couple of weeks. Because I still didn't upload the other one, which I definitely should do. But now back to this one, because that will be interesting. We can ignore that part here. We really need to improve a few things, because it's this doesn't work out here, right? So the other issue is we don't know an enum here. We don't know the payment roles exactly. So ideally, what would be really nice is if we could take that schema and of course update that based on the payment roles that we have. Probably just like with a transformer, like an async call or something, or like just augment it and pass it in, because, well, we will have them at some point. Maybe let's make it a bit more lenient and then, yeah, update that. So what we can do, this was our to-do list. Let's go to member form. And here we have these that we should read from the database. So let's read them from the database. We can just use, it doesn't matter here, but use fetch is fine. So let's say const data is await use fetch. And we want to go to API finds roles, const payment roles, payment role values, I think. And we just take the names. We don't need these at all. These will also, well, they can actually stay for now. So we have some data. We need a value for sure. And this will give us, if it's not null, a list of names and IDs. What we could do is we could probably just map them, because it should be probably the ID and then not the name. So we'll just say ID role.id and name role name. Take the whole thing, wrap parents around it, and then we have a nice list. So we have the payment role values, just the payment role, and they will be used here as options to use that. Maybe we can say label and value. Let's say value here and label. I think that's the right terminology. Well, that's what we have right here. Let's try it out and see. Members. Let's see. Oh yeah, we don't have any item right now. In there we have payment role. Yep, there we are. Here they are. Perfect. Good. That works. And if we set that, exactly, this will then crash the whole enum value part, which is fine for now, because it can't really, I would say it can't really be set to anything else on the front end at least. So we can have that a bit more lenient in the member form schema. So what we can do is, yep, let's move here and just say it should be a number, a string. There it's 1. So it looks like maybe it's cast over. It's fine. We just say z.number. To do make more strict question mark. If we now choose test role, oh yeah, okay, so it's definitely not a number, which is weird though, because I thought it is. Let's check the DB. Well, the ID is an integer. And if we fetch the data, wait. If we fetch the data, we get this ID and name. And probably, okay, this is something else. Here it's also, it should be exactly that, but maybe because of the state. State is the schema and that's the output. No, that should also be fine. Weird. Okay. I mean, that's not a big deal. Once again, if it's a string or number whatsoever. Most important is that it works, right? So let's give it a test roll here. Let's have our wonderful A, B, C. The date of birth is something like that, for example. That's interesting though. I just could write into the field, which is not that good. A, B, C, D, E. Yes, of course you could have better validation here. 1, but why? No, I can't. Interesting. If I tab into it, oh, then I still can. That's good to know. Probably don't even have to set it at all. So let's just unset these. The rest is fine. Submit. Payment rule 1. That's correct. Let's update it there as well, because in here and also in there, we need to update it everywhere. We need to fetch also the payment roles here. Finances roles. No queries, nothing. If data payment roles. Because it has to be resolved, right? So payment role is a key here, and we don't do anything with that. I think in the join date, we write a formatted date. And if we say templates, yeah, hashtag payment role, then we can exactly do this. We get the payment role that exists and give the name. So in that way, we make sure that it actually has the correct one. Yeah, okay, sorting doesn't make any sense here. Also, when we edit it, payment role is not selected anymore because we have to transform it there as well. We don't fetch anything. That could be null. That's true. And name. Why on transformed member? It's payment roles. It shouldn't be member. Did I type? Oh, because I typed it the wrong way. Come on. Also, why do we have types here, I wonder? It shouldn't be needed. Yeah, that looks better. Why did I have them? Strange. Good. Let's go to IDE.view. And also here we need to fetch some things. So we need basically this to happen, but we need, once again, finances roles. We don't need any of these. Payment roles to the rescue. No peta type narrowing necessary anymore. The index API type implementation. Yeah, I thought so. It could have been the case, but the good thing is, yeah, now that it's that we have a workaround, we might not need it anymore. That's a good point. Lucky us. Okay, payment roles. We have the member form. Probably have to fetch. Yeah, this is a bit annoying now. We have to probably fetch that beforehand. No, we should not fetch it here. We should fetch it in the form, and there we fetch it already, right? So we have it here already. It exists here already. Also, let's not name it data. Let's just do raw payment roles or something. So it's not just super arbitrary. And what we want is, if there is some initial state, which definitely can happen, how does it look here right now, I wonder? Because this should just give back an ID, or let's see. If we have 1 here, response, and check the payment role is free. Why? Okay. This is not correct. Do we have it hard coded somewhere? Yeah, we do. We do have it hard coded somewhere. Of course. Let's just give it back to payment role. Not a string. Come on, just payment role is necessary. So, yeah, that's the usual problem. So payment role here is a number, and apparently transform member with ID needs a string. Because that's what was said here. We're going circles, it's fine. We just casted a string and say, okay, to do, can we keep that as number, question mark. If not, it's not a problem. And now maybe all the problems already have resolved itself. Yeah, it worked. Sweet. Now we lost a little bit of validation right now. So what we could do, because if what could happen, it's very unlikely that this will ever happen, but still it's good practice to catch that. Input and post right here, like if we create a new member right now, we could technically say, hey, because the payment role service schema is not the role one, the member one is now pretty lenient, because here it says, okay, yeah, parse that, it's fine. And because the payment role, we say it's just a string and it's okay. So what would be nice would be we fetch all the data from here, and then we say if basically check for payment role, and that should be enough. And when we do the check here, what we want to do is we probably should also extract that somewhere. Utils, I don't know, validation.ts or so. So if we have check for payment role and we have input, which is unknown, I mean, technically we know it's a string or number, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Then here, what we want to do is if there is a payment role ID available. I'll come to that in a second, Toby. Check if it's, well, or if the input is a valid payment role ID, return else throw. And here we continue, but first the question from the chat. So, okay, 13 Toby 37. Hi Alex. Hi Toby. I'm currently facing the decision of the tech stack of my startup. I definitely want to use Nuxt for the front end. For the backend, I'm still unsure whether I also use Nuxt or whether I'd rather use PHP with the Laravel framework. The background to this is that I need functions such as a schedule, jobs, queue worker system, which Laravel provides out of the box. What is your opinion on Nuxt as a backend for larger code base? So, I mean, that fits pretty well to what we're doing right now. And it's actually a very, very common question that's been asked. So I think let's say in the future, like near future, but also far future, depends a bit, Nitro will probably also catch up with like getting a schedule system out. We see the tasks API already and so on and so on. So I think also Nitro itself will gravitate more and more towards that Laravel, but for JavaScript. I mean, we have Adonis.js, I know, but we also have tons of other frameworks. And with the runtime agnostic part, it's really fun. I mean, we already have a storage solution, for example, which Laravel has as well, and so on, so on, so on. But let's say that way. If you decide on tech stack right now, and you say these features that Laravel, which is an excellent framework, brings to the table, they are amazing to build your application pretty fast, then I don't see any reason why you shouldn't pick it. If you're like, okay, I have the skills, I know Laravel well, go for it. I used Laravel quite a long time. I think the community is pretty amazing. You can get lots of things done pretty quickly. As you said, like queues and jobs are all included. It's really joy to work with. So yeah, use it. I've also seen tons of like combinations of like Nuxt for the front end and Laravel for the back end as like API projects in the meantime. Like I have a couple of clients using that and they're all pretty happy. I think that's a good choice. If you say like, okay, they only add a tiny bit of benefit, and I probably wouldn't need as much like built-in features already, or like maybe, okay, there are some NPM packages like a full like Bullim queue, for example, and so on, that could also do a nice queuing and job system, and you'd be good with them. That's also okay. But I think right now what Nitro doesn't have at the moment, but that will come, not with V3 because there's also just breaking changes, but after V3 and probably also after a few more major versions, like there will be more integrations. Right now with Nitro, what we have, we see the integration with all the storage systems with unstorage. We have the database integration with DB0, which we're also using under the hood here. We have the tasks API. So there are lots of things happening in the space right now. Of course, the focus is on Nuxt 4 and Nitro V3 right now, but I really think we get to a point, like probably not in the next months, but we get to a point where we have even tighter integrations. I know, for example, Harlan, also like Nuxt.js and Nuxt team, was working on like a scheduling and a jobs package because he was also considering that. But I don't know what the ATA or status on it is. So yeah, to summarize once again, if you think that the features Laravel has built in will make your app go to production faster and you have the knowledge, then go for it. There's definitely nothing wrong for that. I hope that answer was helpful in a way. But yeah. And with Nitro V3, it's also interesting. Maybe we can open that issue. We'll go a little sidetrack here, but it's still fine. There is in the Nitro repository, I think it was a discussion. Yeah, what will be new in Nitro 3? So the idea is it's mainly breaking changes, same with Nuxt 4. And the idea is, of course, there is a lot of work under it to be done first. There will be some breaking changes removals. Then there will be improvements based on that. Like it's a bit, you don't build a house by using the most fancy, I don't know, door handle or fireplace or whatever. You build it by a foundation. And in this case, the foundation, like it might needs to be improved for a little bit. And to do that, maybe you have to remove a few parts from the house to actually access the foundation and to fix it and improve it. So yeah, a renovated foundation, exactly. And then if it's like, I don't know, sturdier and can hold more weight, then you can build your amazing jacuzzi on that or your infinity pool or whatever. And that's the whole idea. So all the breaking changes happening, be it for Nuxt or for Nitro, they are all done for good reasons. And we all like consider the impact on the user, but also the benefits, of course. And it's always a trade-off, right? Like sometimes you really would want to have a breaking change as soon as possible, but you have to wait a bit, and that's also fine. But the chance also like for the breaking changes once a year, it's pretty important, and it's nice that Nuxt and Nitro, or like Nuxt and JS teams are syncing there to make sure that will be pretty nice. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for your opinion. You're welcome. I can't wait to see what happens to Nitro in the future. Yeah, same. It will be really amazing. I'm so looking forward to that. And it's sometimes a bit tricky to keep track of everything because like here, okay, deprecated exports, runtime compatibility, and so on. Probably not that important for most people using Nitro. We switched to Nitro package name. It will be fun. Legacy externals, legacy, async context by default. That's great. App config support is removed. That's really interesting because that doesn't belong in Nitro code. So it's only for Nuxt. Nitro doesn't have an app config. So that's very interesting to see there as well. And there are a few more things to come. We get async plugins. Eventually, there was a long discussion as well there, and some defaults in the end. But that's just Nitro, and then we have H3, right? This is the more significant part, I think, because with all the packages, and there is this wonderful from Esteban, shout out to him, wonderful relation map where you see how they all belong together. So we have Nitro here, right? And Nitro belongs, like, it's crazy. So let's say we just take this one, and you have all these connections here to all these different packages. And you have H3, it is also like connected to all these different packages. So that's pretty big. H3 is something you can more compare to Express, let's say. So if you have Express or fast defined zone, you would compare it to H3. Nitro is basically all the X on top of that, and then integrations with like unstorage and so on and so on. So all the things you do manually in H3, or would you do also manually in Express, etc., etc. So and here, that is the bigger part where things will change. I'm not sure if there are some PRs to that already, or I think it's just the branch here as well that we'll get there. So there will be changes. And interesting, make usage of defined event handler optional. That's also a very interesting change that I wasn't aware of because it came really, really quickly. So yeah, let's see also when that will happen. That's basically what's quote unquote blocking the Nuxt release, which is totally fine. Like, we want to have breaking changes that are made thoroughly, not hasty. So yeah, that will be super interesting. And the router was rewritten from radix 3 to route 3, mainly because there is no radix 3 used anymore. So before it was radix 3, and it's not a radix 3 anymore. So it got rewritten also algorithm-wise. By the way, staring at here at that moment. And then like how things work and so on and so on. And of course, the further you go down on that route, the further you go into the nitty-gritty details, very deep. And yeah, it is pretty recent. That's correct. It happened in the last weeks, I guess. I mean, we all met in Bordeaux last week, and I think it happened like this week or so, or end of last week, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that's correct. Okay, great. So what we want to do, back to the association manager, is we want to implement that wonderful thing here. And the best part is what we can do is we would have to do a fetch call, right? We have to fetch the actual existing payment roles. And the best part is that this fetch call here, if we say, okay, let's give us all the roles. So this is async. We have to make it async. We have to export it. And we say const roles is this. And I'll tell about something with the fetch call in a second. If I have to wait it. If roles dot well, sum would be enough. RD is input, and we can just convert it both to string, both to number, because this is already number, so we just convert the number here as well. Then it's fine. And else we throw a new error, but not like this. We throw create error here. Done. And the really nice part of that is here, this fetch call does not do an actual HTTP request. Because if we are in Nitro, and we are in Nitro at that point, then we know that's an internal call. So instead of going whole round trip, it will basically just emulate the call and actually just invocate the function that's behind API, finances, roles, index get. So it will basically just run this function, and that's it. So that's pretty smooth, saving valuable time, of course. Sorry, not this one, but this. But you get the idea. Okay, so we have the validation. We can import that. We probably don't need to because it will be auto imported. Sometimes we need to restart TS server for that. We can always check in this case. Yeah, here we go. Maybe not. We'll see when it's up again. But we can also check in. No, still not. Okay. In Nitro. So we have lots of files in that .nuxt folder here, and these are usually very useful because we have all the imports here, for example, from Nuxt telling us what is imported where. And we also should have the Nitro imports here, but I wonder why they are not there. That's a bit strange. Let's quickly just nuke it and restart it, because then we have like Nitro imports that tell us what is auto imported there too. But server utils are commonly auto imported anyway. And as we have it in validation, if it's exported, that should be fine. Ah, types, yeah, didn't open the types folder. And here, Nitro imports, we have that. And if you go check for payment roles, it's there. So if you ever want to see what's auto imported, these are your go-to options. And now it's fine. Great. So we have to check for the payment role. And the same should happen in here. If we don't do that, and we probably also should have waited. If we don't do this, we would, well, it wouldn't be a tragedy. We could just insert random strings in the database, which is still not nice. So we want to make sure that it actually works. And now, if we now say, okay, we have that member here, and we changed it to Alex C, okay. Just to check that we didn't break anything. There's a chance we might. Might take a bit longer now, but now things work. And so what wouldn't work anymore, let's submit it again. If we would we could edit, not this one here, this. You could edit and resend that request. So that's a bit messy, I'm make it a bit smaller. So what we could do is technically we say like, okay, here, payment role is not one, but this. And if we wouldn't have to check, of course, it would be inserted. But now, if we send that, it will give us a 400 saying invalid payment role. Yay, very important. Always good to be very strict because first of all, you really don't want random strings there. I mean, not that your user would do that because they won't like maliciously open the dev tools and check things around. But I mean, in this case, this might be only thing people use for 1 or 2 users. But as soon as something's on the internet, yeah, I wouldn't risk it. Okay, so that's great. That works. We have the check. Ideally, we would do a foreign key check, but I'm not sure if SQLite. How's it doing? Drizzle SQLite foreign key, because then we can just ignore that. It will just work. The question is if foreign key. I'm not sure if SQLite has that. It does have, of course. Auth ID references user ID. Perfect. Why don't we do this? Lovely. Why didn't I read the docs before? Let's go to the schemas and database. So we would need the payment roles beforehand. That's also a bit unfortunate but it makes sense. And here we have this references, members, no, payment roles, dot ID. Okay. Then we could even save us the check because it will probably fail anyway. Still, let's migration done. Migration done. Do we have to execute the migration command again? I wonder, or is it just in there? Let's see. Migrations, it didn't change, so let's try. DB generate. Yeah, it didn't do anything. SQLite doesn't support creating foreign Kinect system column. Meh, that sucks, but okay. Good, we have that foreign key set up. We don't do self-reference. Yeah, no, that's fine. Multi-call foreign key, we also don't need that. Good. Then we are good to go. We still get like a nicer error message, so it wasn't fully worthless. And we can remove these because they won't do anything for us. Okay, we save the rest. Hookup payment roles with one performance schema. That works. That's basically done. And it's 5. We're pretty fast. Do we have payment roles anywhere else? We have it here. We don't need it because we don't use it anymore. Smooth. Feed payment roles. Let's say integrating payment roles. Very good. Okay, that's brings us one step closer to everything, because now the whole thing is very much usable. We just need the payments, the easiest part. Haha. No. I18N is also something we might do earlier than later, because with everything to add, we need more and more things. But it's also a bit of boring work, so I might even do that off stream or just prepare the infrastructure, because you don't want me seeing translating all of these to German. Or maybe you do, but I highly doubt it. Okay, so we have this. This is the next step, and that'll be fun. Maybe let's add a few more users, because right now we have cache, we have yearly, we have a test role. Let's put it to full. Let's create a new member that's reduced guy, and 1, 2, 3, 4. This is member number 2. Maybe one day we could auto-generate that membership ID or like suggest one. But let's see. This was the reduced guy, so it gets a reduced option. We could also pre-fill this at some point, but yeah. And this is SEPA, reduced guy. We have to still validate these. Fake IBAN generator. Doesn't hurt to have that real quick. Okay, let's take a Dutch one, because why not? Oh, I don't have the big for that. Meh. I don't need one. True. And let's do this on quarterly. Did this fail? Or didn't I hit submit? Oh, we probably missed the field. Why is it complaining? Or why is it not doing anything? No, I'm wondering. Okay, if I bring it back to cache, does it work? Okay, cache work. That's interesting. If we do the reduced one again, okay, this might be a thing. Probably because big is also required and I didn't show it. That's not good. Let's go to member form. Let's go to the schema. Member form schema. Yep, that's correct. That's not good. Required. That's also not good because I need a different generator. Okay, still it's the same. This one. No. Dummy Swift big generator. That seems better. Hello. Do you know how to fix Deceptive website warning on my side? Well, is it a Deceptive website? First of all. Second of all, I don't. I am not aware. If like you can probably submit it somewhere. Deceptive. Now I'm curious as well. Website warning. Turn off. I mean, if it comes from Google, like there are, yeah, Google Safe Browsing, there are probably ways to fix it, but I would probably just figure out why. Like if, I don't know, if there, or maybe there is something. I run on CyberPanel. Oh, I'm sorry, I have no idea of CyberPanel, I'm afraid. I'm really curious what they suggest to fix. Okay, detect the cause from surprise, surprise. Oh yeah, there's a Google Safe Browsing. Okay, so you could use that link here and check why. It's a phishing site. Well, if it's a phishing site, then it's good that it's reported, right? Then Google did a pretty good job there. Hmm? Oh no, I have I have a deceptive side warning on the phishing site I deployed. Okay. That's a surprise. I didn't have that in my bingo card for today. Oh, bro. Yeah. I also have a phishing site, by the way. So this doesn't show a deceptive site warning. Just click on wonderfuldiscord.com link here and you can see my phishing sites. Anyway, back to it. Where were we? Oh yes, you still wants to get the fake git generator. God. Otherwise, I just we do Apen validator. I think that's the easiest. Because we can validate it, and then they can also show the big for it. Yeah, la la la. Okay, nice. So we have wow. Fake IBAN. Let's get a fake IBAN and see what is the big for that. Why don't I have adblock on this anyway? This IBAN is valid. Lovely. Okay, we can take that. Oh, an ABN AMRO here. Very interesting. Okay, quickly have to respond to someone. Okay, one sec. There we go. Okay, so let's try that. That's the IBAN, and that's the big. And now we go for quarterly submit. Okay, lovely. Oh man, I'm still thinking about the phishing site, the phishing site thing, bro. Okay. This is a reduced one. That's right. We don't have the. We should probably have the payment type somewhere up here, but it's fine. Just double check. Is the reduced guy a SEPA payer or not? What? He is. Huh? Did we just change it? Didn't we just change that? Is there something wrong in the logic? Submit. Okay, we can't inspect it anymore. That's unfortunate. It seems there is a problem in the logic. Let's try this again and see what the request will tell us. It gives 200. We send these, but the response is this, which is correct. Huh? If we fetch it, it's still cache. Okay, that's what? Strange. This is very weird. So let's go to the put part here. Well, let's check if we create a new guy, like SEPA guy, what will happen there, because that shouldn't happen. SEPA guy, or like bank transfer guy. Okay, make it gal. Why not? Yeah. Just fill it out. 3 or so. We have, for this, we can have probably full. That's fine. Or we can also do reduced SEPA. Try one more time. IBAN big. It doesn't even matter. Oh, it's the account holder. That's also fine. And do monthly. Nope. Okay, SEPA can't be saved in all cases. That's weird. That's not good. We need to check and investigate why. So payment role, sure. Payment type. Oh. let's double check. We have here, okay, we have SEPA count hollow, SEPA IBAN, SEPA big, and then we have types. Okay, cache or SEPA not null. Ah, okay, maybe the payment type here. That must be SEPA cache. Okay, then we could just say payment type. But to lowercase, I guess. And that should just bring it to cache, of course. Then we just do it very simple as suggested here. And this is number SQL undefined. Just because it's a string, so we can just set it to number. Payment roll should still work, but doesn't hurt. Let's take this and do the same post. Here it's correct. Okay. That's a bit strange. Why is it correct here, but not before? Because here I validated against member form here as well. What is payment type here? Yes, SEPA cache. Okay, so it's the same problem basically. It just doesn't detect it because of lots of other things. Okay. Can you get it big by only knowing the IBAN? Yes, you can apparently, but not straightforward. There's like an API to look it up there. I dug through that a bit because this is also basically using an API. There is a list because I think you can figure out the bank and then get it from there. It's a bit annoying, but there is like the Go IBAN validator thingy. Yeah, something like that. And they have, I think, a list of all the countries and IBANs. Yeah, see, I have this basically with like, oh no, not only this, but interesting. Example IBANs, they had some list for sure. So yeah, it's basically just as usual, it's a big table. Yeah, but I can't fully remember where it was. Maybe it's, let me quickly check my other browser history. Oh yeah, Go IBAN service was IBAN generation, I think, even here. This, and there is this external data with the countries, but yeah, so they have basically this Go service, which was pretty nice. That works, and there is a list of all the things somewhere. So yeah, it exists, but yeah. It's not as straightforward as like you can't calculate it based on that. That won't work. Be very handy because most people even know it. Yeah, I mean, you don't need it, right? Like you don't need it in your country. But actually, this is also one of the things that is on the list. So if we have the to-do here, sure, but the ideas list was also like the validation, and then also even saved here. Get big from IBAN via question mark. Probably you don't need it straight away, but yeah, it doesn't hurt. For SEPA transactions, I don't think you need it. It's only needed if it's in a different country. So let's say you're in Germany and you want to get it from a Dutch bank account or from a Danish or Czech or whatever, then you need it. Otherwise, you don't. But it's a good idea. I will add it here because I thought we talked about it in stream. I just can't remember why I didn't add it here. Anyway. Does this resolve the issues? That's the bigger question. The reduced guy. Let's try. This is still not the right field, but it's fine. It's also interesting that it returned the right thing. And yeah, okay. Cool. So if you also have the SEPA guy here, just put in the same things. Will it work? It does. Perfect. Okay, then we're good. We're good. Let's fix it straight away. Push a commit. Good practice. Fix correctly use SEPA. Okay. So we have that. We can do member pagination to show like only 10 and all that. But it's also like, yeah, it's not a bad idea. But it's also more of a performance feature than like it's necessary. Don't get me wrong, if you have like hundreds of members. I think the list has like a couple of hundreds or so, or maybe I can check in my other browser real quick on the side how much it is right now. But they have like 100 something. So actually I can also show you part of the application maybe. Just don't want to show any data or leak any data. Yeah, better not. But so members, they have 295 right now. Yeah, I don't want to show all of them straight away. Yeah, maybe another. Maybe that's a good thing to add last. Yeah, I think the most important part is probably now the payments part. So what we can do is we have the payment roles, they work. We need to work on that payment screen. And technically, okay, let's do a bit of theory crafting beforehand. This should be like the next payment, I think. Like basically a forecast, let's say, of the next payment to be like, okay, this is the next payment. Here's the date that's necessary that you want to plan it to. You can still, if you click like the next payment here, you can still set the date to whenever it should be requested, like whenever the money should go in. And it would be really nice here to have a way to say, okay, look, for these here, have an option to toggle the status of them, because in the previous application, basically what was there were options that like, okay, create a single SEPA data like to XML to issue that here, or just change the state. Just wonder how that will be state-wise. Let's see. Okay, we do it very, very simple. Then we go through for a few cases. First, let's add that button. So let's do member pagination at the end. We still need it, but that's for another scenario, because it's also more like manual work. Okay, payment flow. Not tomorrow. We'll tackle that today. So basically, okay, create payment. What does create payment mean? Create payment means set withdraw date in the future. Very important. Get all users that have a payment due. That's correct. So like, I don't know, if you do like calendar year, you can't change it at the moment. Maybe in the future you can also change like the fiscal year, let's say, that starts in, I don't know, March. That would be actually fun to implement, but not now. Can go to ideas. Future start for fiscal year. Let's note it down, because why not? Okay, so you have a payment flow. Here we have all the users, and then basically what you want to do is you want to create a payment entry with, so like payment ID plus each user plus role. I think it's the most important, plus the role there. Hey, what are you building here? I'll show it in a second, and welcome to the stream. Payment ID, each user and role, plus calculate, plus state. So it's like paid, unpaid. For all SEPA users, create XML and download XML/offer download. That would be like probably that's the easiest to start with. But let's see. Dragon Dust, welcome to the stream. I'll quickly show what I built. I built an open source association manager. So the idea is you can add members here to this little, it's like a little database basically. They can have like all these informations you need, like the names, when they started, address and whatever, the membership ID, payment types, and the interesting part that will come next is that you actually also will be able to issue payments through SEPA payments. So you can set up some payments roles like full price, reduced price, and so on and so on. And the next part is to make this work, like to actual scheduled payments and or like automatically withdraw money from the people. And it's an open source application. It's built with Nuxt, which is a pretty amazing framework based on vuejs. And the whole application, as I said, is available right now. So link is also in the chat for that. It's built on Nuxt Hub, which is a nice way to deploy platforms to applications to Cloudflare to use all the amazing things Cloudflare offers, which is basically a database, KV storage, blob storage, and all that. It's also based on Nuxt UI. So we have ui.nuxt.com, which is a component library, and also there's a pro version. Also for that, there's a little discount at the moment right now of 20%. So that's what the thing is built with, as I said, fully open source. And I hope to get the whole thing as it's working. So it's like the MVP, get it done by not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. And there's still a few things. There's some ideas here listed also in the repository and some to-dos. So what we now want to do is to do the whole payment part. Quite a Sunday project. Yeah. And I mean, it started 3 months ago. Then I did nothing for a while. Yesterday, I started a different project, which I can very briefly showcase, but it's more a gaming thing. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have this deadline. I really want to finish this. Plus, there's so many things, cool things to build. So the other thing I did is tfdhub.com. So that's a really gamey thingy. So let's just do. I hope it will work now. It didn't. Here we go. It did. Lovely. So there's a game called The First Descendant, which came out a couple of days ago. And they have an API. So I thought, why not using that, building a little thing also with Nuxt. Very, very basic, just fetching data from people, showing who was fetched and so on and so on. So pretty straightforward, caching that, maybe at some point tracking things. But yeah, that was basically like a little couple hours project. Never heard of this game, reminds me of this tool. Yeah, it's the same idea, but the tool, like that game started super, super fresh. So I thought, why not building something? I might post it on Reddit later on when it has a bit more functionality. And I might work on it when the other thing is done, because this has priority, obviously. And also the TFD hub is not open source right now, but might be in the future. We'll see. Okay, payments. That will be interesting. So what we need, this part might be the most important, because we want to generate that SEPA thingy. So we can do this totally separate. So let's have, we probably also do it on a server. Yeah, we definitely will do this on a server. So let's have a sepa.ts file here. We had a package that we want to use, which is SEPA, the SEPA package itself. So maybe let's have a look real quick on this and see what will happen here. Probably go to the GitHub page directly. Welcome. Love it. Live online generator. That's great. Yeah, message ID initiator, creditor name, creditor IBAN, creditor big. True for that we need that, and so on, so on. But we need, yeah, multiple people. You can also validate things, checksums, and so on. So, and yeah, that will be fun. The main use case, create an XML document. Exactly, here's a simple example. If you want a browser, don't do this. That's good. It's great that you can do it in the browser too, so it's runtime agnostic. And then it's just adding that transaction. That seems pretty straightforward, I would say. Might be even worth to have a test on that to make sure things will work accordingly. And we want exactly that structure. In the meantime, let me quickly just check because I know I have a file example on that. The problem is I can't show you the data, but there is one. So yeah, with like it's very similar. Customer direct debit initiation or in it doesn't matter. Group header, yeah, message ID, credit time or credit, yeah, something. Number, the sum. Perfect. That should do the trick. Creditor, so the money who should go to, and direct debit tax information. Yep. Okay. Let's try it. We need SEPA.js, so maybe install that first. PMPI SEPA.js. Nope, not SPIA. In the meantime, you can copy that old but working example. Also, is it still the right version? 8.8.1.2? I'm not sure if that's the correct one, but we will see. I think I used 3.2. But this is 3.2. Weird. These versions tell me nothing. Let's see. There is that example. So geared towards German batch directory, that's correct. All right, let's just bring it on. Let's give that example and give it a go. Also, do they have types? I wonder. New? Oh, it's just SEPA, I think. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so the idea is export function, create XML for SEPA payment. That's fine. So technically, what we want to do is we want to have all the members here. We need the members to create the whole thing, and then we might have a date as well, like the withdrawal date, or how do we call it there? What do we have today? Credit time, credit date time, something like that. Let's just call it withdrawal date. Or withdrawal date, yeah, that's fine. And what else we need? We definitely need creditor. So the person who gets the money, or in this case, the company, we need a way to set it up as well. We need a way to save that, which is also probably something we should ideally put in a config somewhere. That's the easiest, or like hard coded for now. Maybe not code, maybe they have a file for that. But let's see. And we definitely want, with this, we have this. Members should include name, IBAN, big, well, payment role. Do we need to roll? Yeah, we need the amount as well, because that's how it's calculated. We might need the future discount, something like that. Subtraction. Because the problem is also that yeah, we have to think about scenarios like the role switch where the amount is different. So we probably don't even need to save. We should save the payment role for transparency, but the amount we should probably just calculate beforehand and pass it in. That would be a different task. So let's stick with that. And then we should be fine. Okay, import SEPA from SEPA. Does SEPA have types? It does not have types. Can we install types? pnpme add types/SEPA. Maybe it has types. It doesn't look like. That's unfortunate. Then we have to use it without types, which is a bit scary, but it's fine. SEPA CSV examples. What? Okay, no, I don't think so. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, let's just take that example once again. Then we have to have at TS expect our no types sad. Let's just double check. There are some open issues. Is there somewhere TypeScript? Move to TypeScript and refactor. Move to TypeScript all in one. People were trying, but it never happened. Is this still the open one? No, there's just different pane support. Okay. It's probably still the best way to go. You can check again. SEPA package Node.js. I think that would be the best way to go, but maybe it's different. We have a few more JS packages. 2 stars and template. Nope. That's also SparkQL. It's not related. Okay. It's pretty niche. Banking WS. Oh, that's a bit light. Banking WS. Let's see what this is. Node.js library. SOAP. Okay. I mean, it is still pretty active, but it's not what we need. They have like some validation. They have SEPA payments with sampling. That's not what we need, I think. But the structure is what we want, nevertheless. Let's go what we have. I remember back in time, I just hand rolled that. So yeah, let's go with what we have. Maybe we add one day we add types to that. So this was the example. Here we do new SEPA.document, which apparently does things. I have a document, which is already any, that's true. Can we look up? Oh, okay. Yeah, no chance. Okay, so let me see what I need. I need this here. No, wait, this here I need. Yeah, customer direct debit in it. Okay. This is what I used last time, which doesn't mean it should work, but it did. Group header XMPL. Yeah, no idea. Created now. Initiate a name is probably the creditor name. So let's maybe have some types for that in a second. Where's the pain part? There is none. Oh, interesting. Okay. So let's say type creditor. What we need is, technically we need a name. We need an IBAN. We need a big, obviously. Let's name, IBAN, big, and ID. Which is also important. And the withdrawal date is the collection date. I like that more than the withdrawal date. That also fits well. Collection date is good. Created is basically now. That's also fine. So we have this, and that's type creditor. Find replace var const bust. Oh yeah, for sure. We won't keep that on for long. I'll probably just do this. Not even using find replace here. So let's see. We have here creditor, the name. Do we have more example LLC? No. Creditor, the name, creditor big, and here creditor.IBAN, creditor.ID. I wonder where the ID comes from. I'm not entirely sure, because I remember, do I even have Payment information ID, I have that, but I don't have any information about the ID of the creditor. Let's quickly check what the result of this here was. Let's just, there was a demo, live online generator. So let's say message ID. I think let's leave that empty. Test 1, 2, probably it's not validated anyway. So 7/7/2024. Something like that. Me, my IBAN, my big. Oh, mandate ID. Okay, we can fill it in. We can manage that. Signature date, whatever. It's just 1st of 1st, 1990 or not. Something like that. Amount is 10. We need a message ID. Okay. We can just create that manually. Initiator is still test. Same for creditor. God. Let's match the format here. Okay, we need an ID actually. Interesting. How to provide an ID there? I'm sorry, it might be a bit boring because it's like literally German bank stuff, but yeah. Very interesting. Where did I get that ID from, I wonder? I might have to check the original source code for that in a bit. Because the mandate ID is pretty simple. It's basically last name, member, number, or something what I did in the end. Date of signature, yeah. That's also something that I should add. Or just assume it's the join date. That probably also doesn't work. Things are sometimes too complicated to do. I'll add it for later on. Add signature date and mandate ID optional, both optional, to SEPA option. So because if you agree that people can withdraw from or collect money from your account, you need to sign something, and it would be good to have an ID for that you can provide there, and it would be also good to have a date when it was signed, apparently. So let's have type member. What do we need here? Well, we need more or less what we have here. True. This for sure. Let's do first name, last name. It's a bit easier. We have it in the database like that. First name, last name, account holder, optional. We need that if it's there. Otherwise, you just take last name, first name. It's fine. But you can have a different account. So, all right, we need this. So it's basically we need mandate ID or like mandate ID string signature date. Or also just a string. I'll just make sure it's Huawei MMDD. That should be it anyway. It's also here. Oh, actually it can be date. Let's see. Probably we'll just store it as a string, but it's fine. Amount. Oh, that's interesting. Amount in currency, which makes sense. But I will just probably provide amount in cents straight away, because then I'll just convert it. I don't wanna bother. That's member, and that's date. Okay. So then here we have member dot account holder. Oh yeah, we have to do this for each. True. So let's say members dot for each. So it should be an array. And then we say we do a whole thing here. for each and every one. And we just return doc.toString. The best part is this will have good unit test coverage, I promise. Because we need to be really, really good with that. Okay, if there's an account holder, otherwise we do, yeah, member first name, member last name. Just double checking if that's actually correct. Or if we should do the other way around. Should probably do, that doesn't matter. That's fine. IBAN. Big. We might even need it. Remember, mandate ID. New date. Member.mandate.signature date. Member.amount in cents divided by 100. Info y, that doesn't hurt, right? So we need info optional. It's just a string. Basically telling, hey, duplicate. Oh, rem info, rem, or like notes. Remittance info, like y, yeah. Doesn't hurt. End-to-end ID. Yeah, that's also needed. I think we can just auto-generate that. Because like, okay, this is example, customer ID, invoice, whatever. So maybe let's make the notes not optional, because then we can have that for sure. Let's just do to-do generate here, please. Probably something like timestamp plus name plus info. Something like that. I guess same idea with here, like the group header. Because if I check my old file, it's also like the message ID is pretty simple. Generate. So collection date is still important. And that might be it already. We might still need something more complicated than that. The end-to-end ID would be good to be unique, so we can have the timestamp and the name. I mean, that might be enough. And the random hash. Or like the creditor ID, something like that. We will figure a way. I would really love to see the code, what I did back then. Maybe I can, maybe this is probably something I can share. So let's see, maybe I have it. I mean, I have it around. It's just old. And I pushed it to Git for 4 years ago before I had it. Oh wait, no, I pushed it way, way older. It is, I will show you in a sec. It's legit 8 years old. So let's see, where do I have that? SEPA. Oh God. Yeah, this is pretty horrible code. I'll spare you. I spared it for sure. This is nothing you necessarily want to see. Okay, we should probably check the create SEPA file window. That might make sense. Payment controller. Okay, let's pull it up. I haven't checked the live application for so long. Payment controller. Oh yeah, create SEPA file. So let's see. That was really interesting. Yeah. Change the status and all that. Oof, that was terrible code. Also different dates because of German date formatting and stuff. Nah. That was not fun. Then like weird errors of like, oh yeah, there was no IBAN or whatever. Mandate reference was there. Mandate date, all that. But it's not that bad. I'm actually a bit surprised. It could be way worse. Except that I loaded the whole library in here. That could be a good chance though to check, because it would be interesting to see what the group header thingy is. I think it was just generating that, yeah. Credit time is just the current date. That's pretty good. How was the ID generated, which was message ID? Make message ID. Okay, just the current date in random. That's fine. Seems legit. And to, how's it called? Not end-to-end ID, but where is it here? Oh, it is actually called end-to-end ID, just different. Is make ID same? Question mark? Yeah, okay, it's legit the same. Then we can also just randomly generate it and have some track on it. Perfect. Okay. Enough digging into old code, because no thanks. And let's bring it on. Okay, so what we can do is we definitely can just say like, okay, we can have a generate ID here. We don't use MD5, of course. It's not a good idea. And it shouldn't be the same. So what we can just do is function generate ID is we can add a timestamp or like YMMDD. Let's do plus 16 random characters. That might be easier. Get the current date, get the characters, something like that. So then we just generate the ID, and that should be good. Now we probably can't use snapshots, but that's fine. And that should probably be it for the generation. Now, what will be interesting is let's just do some very bare-bone testing, which would be, let's just create a test.ts here and just fill in all these data. We can just say, hey, that's a Nitro event handler. Nitro event handler. There we go. And we just say return create XML for SEPA payment. And now we just do members. Yeah, just fill it in nicely. Something like that. That's fine. Collection date is, let's say 2024 7/10, like soon. And this is very simple example as well. Just make sure the dates are different. Okay. Let's bring it on. Let's see if it works. That's the beauty of it. Sometimes we can just try it out in the browser. API test. Okay. It didn't work. Why not? Because there is something missing. Oh yeah, because obviously it's not an object. It should be an object though. I probably will adapt that because that's not a good idea. And the nodes would also be nice. So let's get rid of this and just create type args. Members, collection date, nodes. Okay. And here we have create XML with different args, and a string will be the return. Don't need to type the return type really because it's anyway. But it's also good because then we at least have some safety for later on. Okay, let's bring that back. And we need notes. Membership, payment for July. That's fine. That's good. Let's refresh and see. Creditor ID is invalid. Yep. That's true. Creditor ID is indeed invalid. So how do we do this? Let me maybe figure out in the PHP library how this was done, the creditor ID, how it looked like, or in the file. It's always, yeah, for almost all these short names are always super interesting. Okay, let's just put creditor ID. Let's just put it in. Why not? Let's see. Will it complain? No, it will not complain. And this is an actual XML string. This is it. We just have to actually return it as an XML. I obviously explained before we joined the stream what was the purpose of generating the XML output, as in why specific is format, does another service take it in? I'm not sure if I ever explained. So the idea of generating this whole like SEPA XML is that there is a tool, a banking tool, where you can do like batch processing. So if the treasury master of the association just says like once a month, push this button, gets an XML, put it into like a banking tool, and it will just process all the payments and will kindly collect all the money from the SEPA accounts that are provided there. So that's the idea behind it. So a bit like you can also fully automate it, but having the check in between, also showing you all the things there is a good idea. Plus fully automating is also a thing in German. It's a bit tricky in Germany. So yeah, the idea is basically to semi-automate the thing and don't have to put in all the bank details one by one. Let's also do one thing. Let's do set response header application XML, but it's header and it's content type. Yeah, perfect. Here you go. A legit thing. Sweet. That makes sense. Banking tools in the XML. Yeah, it's all old, but it might work. The problem is it's still not, it's pane 812. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the difference between 812 is and 8, what was used there? Probably it's all the same, but I don't know. 802. What's the difference? Learn Microsoft. Tell me what's the difference. That's one. And oh yeah. Okay, this is the more universal one, and this is for Austria, and this is for Germany. Uh-huh. I mean, this says it works for Belgium, Germany, France, Italy, Netherlands. And this works for only Germany. So probably I just used the more general one. Seems fine. Okay. Let's we have to write tests for that, but probably we'll do it for another time. It's already 6, so let's see. Database migration failed. Yeah, of course. It's kind of expected. Because I deleted it, because there was nothing to migrate. Yeah. So we did that. We created the XML. So let's say needs test. Offer XML download. This is also interesting. We can probably just offer it on demand by saying, give me the file for that payment. So we need a route anyway to offer that. It can be a server route, I think it makes the most sense. Finally, another nice case for server routes. So if we have a route here, route slash, we can just say finances, payments, ID, damn it, date, maybe, .xml. Doesn't hurt. .ts. So the idea is that this way we basically say like, okay, it's not in the API part, but it's actually in finances, payments, and so on. So that can be really helpful. Now we just have to link to the right payment date, which we get. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Sweet. And here we can basically write the same code as in our API. So what we did here and export it. Okay, what do we need to do here? Const ID, const date. If neither, they are there for sure, but hey, please TypeScript doesn't hurt to please TypeScript. So we also don't need that import because it should work automatically once again, but sometimes it's a bit slow to understand that. We need to set the response header anyway in all cases then, because then it's a valid XML. So basically we have to get details, get payment details, and then after that we just have a pass them to create XML for SEPA. So that's all we have to do. We basically have to ask for payment details. Maybe I'll set response headers further down here, because it could still be that like there's an invalid ID. It could still be that there is anything literally that's not valid. So, and we have the details. For that we need the payment database. For that we need all the information in there. Yeah, that makes sense. And the good part is if we do it monthly, I'm just thinking, is there any way? Yeah, should be fine. So then we create that and then we're good. Okay, I think that's a good point. We're going for almost 3 hours. I think that's a really good point to stop here in a little bit. Also because there will be food in a little bit. In the meantime, well, I'll just write a few more things. Yeah, final call for questions. Really curious if you have any. Can be related to anything. So just let me know. Just migrate my whole infra to SST. Single command deployment is so good. Sadly, no Nuxt cookies. Yep, that's true. It's true. Only works with single apps. Yeah, that's a fair point. Maybe one day we have SST support with Nitro straight away. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And let's check one more time and go through. We have offer XML download. We kind of do this here. We just have to get the payment details. So let's say const payment details is get payment details ID. We don't need the date for that because that's already included. The date is really more like the collection date anyway. So here, and then we say we do basically like dot payment details, and then we have the collection date as new date, let's say. The rest is fine. It might need the nodes are also saved in here. So like this have, we need still the creditor somehow. Const creditor is, get creditor details. We might be good with env here, but let's see. So we need this is a big to do here. This, that. Okay. Any insight about progress on H3 Nitro Nuxt? You already mentioned something earlier, but still curious. No more insights that I gave already. I think that's all I'm aware of. I just know it's quite a bit of work, and there will be some changes. So for example, I can show that for example. What you can do right now in Nitro, you can do event.node.request.whatever. And this will fully go away. Like, so you can't do that anymore, mainly because that's also just fake in other platforms. Also, some things like get headers or like get query or something might be replaced by event dot, like we have right now with path. So I don't need a lot of composables or like helpers for that anymore. This is a change that will happen. Yeah. Other than that, there will be a migration guide. There will be a thorough information. You'll be able to test that. You can try the nightly one already if you want to. Like all the things are ready for on nightly channels, so it might be worth giving that a shot. Other than that, yeah, I don't think there's much more to say. Also, okay. I don't think you can change it in the Twitch chat. You have to. You can change your Twitch account name. That's possible, but it's for all of them. Unfortunately, it's not like on Discord where you have a name per server you can change. But it's good to know. I will remember that. All right. I think then that's almost that. Just one more time to summarize. We have this. We'll probably just commit this here. So like, okay, feed like v work in progress here, XML thingy. We save all and commit. And yeah. That's that. The source manager association manager is taking shape. It's going well. We did some good progress today. We'll do more. Maybe later today, maybe tomorrow for sure. And yeah, I hope you learned a thing or two. If there are any questions, let me know. And other than that, the usual plugs, always hinting the good old Nuxt UI that's available right now. Try out Nuxt Hub because it's for free. Give a try to well, the normal Nuxt UI as well. And of course, Deja VFM. And if you're also interested in the videos, I know most of you already subscribed, but still, yeah, give it a shot. Compatibility date is the latest one, and that's that. And I hope I see some of you next stream, which is probably either, as I said, later or tomorrow, because we have to get the thing done. So yeah, thanks everybody, and really happy to help people around also on the Discord, as it was mentioned in the chat. Trying to be active there because I know that community is important, and yep, that's great. So thanks everybody. Have a great Sunday evening and see you later or tomorrow or async somewhere online. Have a great time. Bye bye.